But enough of that stuff. We have Danny from Brazil. And you know what? I see that Chris has joined us here in the room. Chris, I was just welcoming all the fine people that are joining us here today. And how are you today, my friend?
I'm doing super well, Raleigh. It's been a pretty special week, and really excited actually to talk about weekly windfalls and waterfall income because this week is why I created the strategy. It was a perfect testament to what this strategy is built for, and traders will easily see that when I'm done through with today's session.
Man, that's fantastic. What a segue, right?
Yeah, pretty good. And that's I mean, honestly, it is good timing. I mean, I've had one of the best weeks of the year so far, and I mean, obviously it was a nice little post-election bump and the market's ripped higher. But I had some trades that I've been sitting on for months and months and months personally. And then what's nice here is you'll see this statistic, but I did an 11-year study with this waterfall income strategy, and the average holding time was 11 days. Well, in the
Okay.
last 24 trades we've taken in the service, 24 winners, 24 trades with an average holding time of 12 days. So I mean, so for an 11-year history, it's what we just did in the last month. It is spot on with what I tested on this thing. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Man, that is fantastic. That's outstanding. Who's your buddy there? Who you got with you there?
Oh, we got little Benji boy. He's the little French
Oh,
bulldog that can do no wrong, and he's my Velcro dog. So he's just gonna hang out while I do today's session.
does he ever kind of growl at you when you're about to do something silly?
He
Yeah, no.
doesn't. He just can't breathe, so he sounds like he's growling.
That's awesome, Chris. Well, we got a ton of people here in the room and more that are coming in, and I know we're anxious to get started. So, what I'm going to do, Chris, is I'm just going to fade into the background. I'll keep an eye on the chat panel for you, and then I'll
Okay.
come back during the Q&A session, and we'll make sure that we answer people's questions. But once again, I think I'm excited to hear what you've got going on. I love your segue. It's been a great week for you. And with
Yep.
that, my friend, take it away. It's all yours.
All right. Thanks, Raleigh. All right, hey everybody. Nice to be with all of you today. We're going to be talking about a trade today that you can actually jump into the live session with me on Monday, and we'll start right now for today's session. The Monday session will be live. We'll start that actually at 11:30. So I'll talk more about those details in a minute. So we're going to talk about weekly windfalls. Basically, the slogan is this: one trade, one ticker every Monday at 11:59. Now I'm going to show you how I make more trades, more tickers, but still every Monday around 11:59. So, I'll give you the tickers that we trade today. I get it; it's highlighted in yellow here, but it is a 100% success rate as far as my live trade is concerned. I am 24 for 24. The service has been going on for almost a month now, and your chance to join me is today. So we can talk about everything today. You can join me on Monday. We'll kick this class off, and hopefully, we're going after a 25th straight win together. Now, first things first. The profits and performance shown are not typical. I nor we do we make any future earnings claims. I may lose money with the strategy. You may lose money with the strategy. The trades expressed are from an 11-year back test on 550 trades. The result was a 97.1% win rate, 17% average return, winners and losers, with the average hold time of 11 days. Every weekly windfall targets roughly $1,000 in income based on a $5,000 risk for every example that we talk about today, unless the state something else. We're going to talk roughly every trade's going to be a $5,000 risk, $1,000 of income. That's the plan. Although you can get started with just a couple of bucks, we can make this trade very cost effective and very cheap. I'll talk more about that as well. So from September 30th to present, which obviously isn't that long ago, live trades taken with real money. The trade is 100%, 18.4% average return with an average hold time of 12 days. Now, like I told Raleigh earlier, we are 24 of 24 with every live trade that I've taken so far. So that's pretty darn good. And I cannot guarantee any specific future results, nor can Prosperity Pub. There's a high degree of risk in trading. You know that. If you want to see terms and disclaimers, check it out on our homepage for more information. All right. Let's be real, okay? There will be losers in trading. Now, I'm batting 100% for this strategy with real money. That's great, but there is no black box miracle system that prints out winning trades automatically. The whole purpose of my research and work with traders is to help give folks an edge in the markets. If you can't handle a losing trade, then trade a demo account. If you can't handle a losing trade, then you shouldn't really be trading with real money. Again, losses in trading have occurred and will occur in the future. Now, this is me. My name is Chris Pulver. Nice to be with everybody today. Nearly 30 years in the market. I've been trading stocks, options, futures, forex, cryptos. I've spent tens of thousands of hours trading and teaching. So I've certainly seen a thing or two. But what's happened over the past few months has been really alarming. Okay. In short, Governments around the world have become more reckless than ever. China printed $5 trillion out of thin air to boost the economy, put in an aggressive stimulus package they haven't done since the pandemic. The U.S. is doing the same thing. We got the Fed that is slashing interest rates. They just proceeded to cut 2 times in the last couple of months, September and now November, while the markets are sitting here at all-time highs. We have the U.S. government, which the debt is skyrocketing. We just had an election this week. So guess what? Is it going to get better or worse? Okay. The government, fiscal policy wise, isn't showing any signs of slowing down. If we're trying to tell everybody like, oh, we're going to cut $2 trillion. Yeah, but we're probably going to spend 5 or 6 to do it. So I'm telling you, like, this debt is skyrocketing. We are heading towards a fiscal cliff. The fourth turning, all these things are going to happen. Just nobody knows when. Okay. And all these events are leading to an inevitable outcome. Right now, and we all know this has been coming, it feels like garbage since 2020, but inflation's been this sticky little theft that everyone's been dealing with, and it's always been there. It's always been there, but it's never been as prominent and as annoying as it's been the last few years. Now, the second wave of inflation is also starting to rear its head and resurface. So I believe that this second wave is going to be even more devastating because the first one caught us off guard and we've been backpedaling and trying to fix everything. But a second wave of inflation that nobody wants to see, as things have still gotten more expensive, even though it's slower, still gets more expensive. We're going to see inflation, nearly go to double digits. Now, I care about my family's financial future. I know you do as well. So I urge you to pay close attention today because not only am I going to give you something that could help you navigate this unavoidable cost of living crisis, but what you're about to discover is a very straightforward way for nearly anybody to target extra income every week, essentially hands-free. So before we get started, I want you to think about this for a second. What if you could target right around $50 a week, right about $100 a week? What about $1,000 each and every week? All by placing one trade, one ticker at the exact same time each week, right? And I'm being completely literal. I mean, one trade, one ticker each and every week, like we did earlier this year. Monday, March 4th, 2024, place one quick trade at 11:59 a.m., shut down the computer, check out for the rest of the week, and sure enough, when everything worked out, you're looking at $1,144 automatically deposited in your broker account a few days later. Now, the very next week, Monday the 11th, we're talking March here, so we got 2 weeks in March. Same thing, 11:59 a.m., just like clockwork. A few days go by, trade automatically closed out for you, another $1,186 added to the broker account. How about the next week, March 18th, rinse and repeat, $1,297 in extra income. Okay, and of course, the final Monday of March was no different. Here's week 4, same day, same time, same ticker, 11:59 a.m., $1,150 in extra income. Now, the stock even went down. Now, altogether, that would have been a nice little $4,778 of profit during the month of March, all by placing one trade on one ticker at the exact same time each week. Now, I call these weekly income payouts weekly windfalls. Now, they've shown the power to pay even if the stock goes up, down, or sideways. And this is an unrivaled, this is crazy, 97.1% success rate on an 11-year study. Now, what does that look like? That means that for every 100 trades you take, you have 97 winners. So there's $100 signs on my screen with 97 of them are winners. Okay, with numbers like that, you can see why I really want to share this with you. Okay, now in a moment, I'll show you why we take the same trade every Monday at exactly 11:59 a.m. But before we go any further, let me be very clear. There is nothing guaranteed in these markets. There's no instant magic income pill. So please understand that this technique is not about gambling on home runs. Okay, this is a realistic strategy that is designed to help give folks the opportunity to target steady income on a weekly basis. It doesn't matter if you have a multi-million-dollar retirement account. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out with a few $100s. Nearly anybody can learn this technique, okay? Nearly anybody. All you need is a standard brokerage account, normal internet connection, access to your brokerage firm through the app even, just a few minutes every Monday around 11:59 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, if that's not easy enough, don't worry. I'll make this really straightforward, okay? I will give everyone the opportunity today to join me live for my next session on Monday, and we will be going after, hopefully, our 25th win in a row. It's pretty good. Now, this gives me, along with you, the chance to make some money each and every week, starting on Monday, essentially hands-free. Now, if that perks your ears up, then go ahead and stick around, and welcome to Weekly Windfalls. Now, to get to know me, I've been in the markets as a trader, former money manager, and a teacher for nearly 30 years. I personally manage a couple of accounts. I manage millions of dollars. which I'm very proud of, and I take it very seriously. I trade just about everything. I trade stocks, ETFs, futures, options, tons of options, Forex and crypto. And, I love the options market. I love what derivatives have done. I think it gives every retail trader a chance to be successful. You can trade up, down, sideways. Now, I'm very fortunate that I've taken my passions for two things. Okay. I love the game of golf. I was very competitive growing up playing sports, golf and basketball. Golf has taken me all over the world. And I've been out of the golf business now for about 15 years, and I've been solely focused on full-time trading and finance. And now finance and trading has taken me all over the world. I still have my PGA card. I'm still a member of the PGA of America. I do it so I can go to the Masters every year. It's one of the biggest perks I have. Also, if I want to get a professional courtesy and get some discounts on clubs, it's cool too. Okay, now I'm going to invite you to join me live for my next session. Let's see if we can go after a 25th straight weekly windfall right before your very eyes. I'll take the trade right with you. All my services, I love the trade right alongside you. We'll go ahead and target that extra income every Monday. Now, before we dive in, it's important to remember that there is no get rich quick button when it comes to trading. Okay, so when you see how I place this trade, okay, be smart. Don't over leverage. There's no guarantees here. These trades are designed to help grow the account over time. But with that said, the timing for this brand new strategy, the timing for this briefing couldn't be any better. Literally, we had 18 of 18 winners today, with the previous 6 closed out a couple weeks before. Now, it's no secret that nearly everybody, young or old, is pretty strapped for cash right now. Everyone's trying to make some improvements and better plans for saving and how they're going to survive in 2025. Okay. Now, thanks to inflation, the cost of everything has gotten more expensive, and it's not getting better. Car insurance is up, hotel prices are up, gasoline prices are up, heating oil's up, everything's up. Now, what is the Fed trying to do? They're trying to keep inflation around 2% because that way wages can be steady and it feels like things are just going up a little bit slower. But things are still going up. But these type of jumps and leaps we've seen in prices are outrageous. Okay. And that is why so many Americans right now can barely afford to save any money at all. Now, our personal savings rate has absolutely plummeted. People are putting away less than 1/10 of what they could just a few years ago. And that's why credit card debt is ramping up. That is why debt, for debts in business, debts personally, we can't even cover emergency expenses, right? Look at this chart. Credit card balances are skyrocketing. Defaults and delinquencies are going up as well. We're topping $1 trillion for the first time in history with credit card debt. It is a scary, scary problem that we're facing in America right now. Okay. And a government that is even worse. Okay. Now imagine having to go into credit card debt to cover a vet bill to save your fur friend. Like the guy I got on my lap, every time I go to the vet, it's probably $500 to $1,000. So I'd feel terrible if I couldn't cover that. He's a bit of a needy dog. Okay. Or not being able to surprise your loved one with a gift that could really be cherished for a lifetime. Now, the last thing I want to witness is millions and millions of Americans that are getting trapped with credit card debt, living paycheck to paycheck. And that is exactly why I'm here today. All right. I am on a very special mission, unlike anything I've done before. I think this is one of the most simplistic, systematic strategies that I've ever offered. Okay. Now, I want to show everyone in here today exactly how they can offset the rising cost of living by targeting right around $1,000 in income each and every Monday with one trade and one ticker at the same time each week. Now, I talked to March, right? We look back, we did 4 trades in March. How about April? Okay, let's say somebody had $5,000 to play with. That's the amount I'd be referring to in every example today. So every trade we take, we're talking about a $5,000 risk. Now, if that is too high for you, that's fine. Do the math. You want to risk $500, you're going after $100. Fair? Okay. Now, you don't have to invest that much. Every trade I'm talking about can be taken with as little as $100. So this truly is a very cost-effective trade. But for the examples with these income strategies and targeting the money that we do for this webinar, we're talking a $5,000 risk. Okay. Now, April was one of the bigger shakeouts we saw this year in the market. Regular investors would have taken a big hit. We had our first real reality check in 2024 with April. The S&P was down about 5%. Okay, pretty much every asset sold off during the month of April. We got the NASDAQ down along with the S&P, Bitcoin's down, even safe haven bonds were down nearly double digits. And almost every investor was sitting in drawdowns, waiting for pullback or, seeing pullbacks in, a few $100, few $1,000, thousands of dollars at the very least. But folks taking advantage of this weekly windfall strategy could have fared much better because they not just hit once, not twice, but every Monday in April. So not only do we have every Monday in March, but also every Monday in April with the same trade each Monday at 11:59 a.m. So there's $1,054, $1,166, $1,639, $1,153, and all in all, that would have paid $5,012 in profit that anyone could have made in just that month. Now, most investors seeing a 5, 6, 10+% drawdown are losing their shirt. And we're talking about one trade, one ticker once a week and making some money. Now, look at the average household right now, $6,100 per month in living expenses. Now, these numbers get really wild here. This is $72,967,000 per year just to get by. We're talking about necessities, all right? Healthcare, food, transportation, clothing, electricity, just the bare necessities. Now, the average household income is around 74,580. So we're talking 73 in expenses, 75,000 in annual earnings, and that's before taxes, right? So tell me this, how can anybody keep up? We've got expenses at 72,967, and you have average income before taxes at 74,580. Can you see why Americans are going in debt? Can you see why credit card debts are high? Mathematically, it is now pretty much impossible for the average American household to save any money for retirement. Okay, so the dream car, the vacation you've always wanted, right? The housing market, don't even think about it, right? Cash is simply way too tight for most folks right now. But weekly windfalls could have given everyday folks and myself, right? I'm right there with you. The extra income that we all desperately need and really deserve to have right now. Because what we are using is the financial markets. It is the best wealth generating engine and instrument that I have ever used. It is why millionaires and billionaires play the markets, because they want to let their money work for them. So do we have to pick up a second job? No. Do we have to work side hustles on weekends? No. Keep in mind that this extra money, the $5,000 I mentioned in April, the $4,000 and change I mentioned in March, would have come during one of the worst sell-offs we saw of the year. Okay, every major index was down, Bitcoin is down, bonds were in the toilet. Now, of course, as I said, I can't guarantee any future returns against these losses. It's going to happen. We know the markets can be unpredictable at times, but it's these type of steady returns that gets me really excited about sharing how systematic and consistent the weekly windfall strategy is with everybody. Okay, and like I said, I will invite you to join me for my next session so we can go after that 25th straight win together, showing you how to target that income on Monday with one trade and one ticker at the same time each week. Now, we did March, we did April. How about May? Here's the first week of May. Remember, the S&P just endured a month-long streak of relentless selling in April, and May we had a nice little turnaround rally. So we have a small rally. If you're a buy and hold investor, you're back to break even. Whew, better than a drawdown, but you're not making any money. But what about somebody taking advantage of the weekly windfalls in May? You would have nailed another 4 winners in a row. 1150 in income, 1209, 1101, and 1672. And all in all, we're talking another $5,000+ in extra income for the month of May. We're 4 for 4 for March. We're 4 for 4 for April. We're 4 for 4 with May. And this is with a 97.1% success rate on all of these opportunities. Now, if somebody was twice as confident, loved the strategy enough, was willing to risk a little bit more, same method, same process, throw in twice as much. Okay. Now we're talking a $10,000 risk. You're talking about $10,070 in extra income. That's a 5 figures of profit in a single month. Now, look, people aren't strapped for cash because they don't want to save money. Everybody knows how important it is to beef up the rainy day fund. But now everything is so stinking expensive. It is nearly impossible to save money. Okay, just in the last few years, we've watched the average new car payment jump from $450 to $740 a month. That is insane. On top of that, with insurance, you're talking about just having a car in your household is like $1,000 a month, right? So you're increasing the payment plus your insurance going up. What about the price of food at the grocery store? We've seen some of the biggest increases since the 1980s. Okay, it's not just car payments, not just grocery bills. The average house, as I said earlier, it is the most unaffordable housing market we have ever had. Based on the household income, based on the rule of thumb, what it takes to afford a house, you're having to fork over like 45 to 50% of your gross income to afford a monthly mortgage payment. 1627 is now ballooned to 2823 a month for the exact same house. Okay, it's insane. Okay, and the hard fact is, this is only a beginning. This isn't over. Okay, I believe that prices will continue to go up. Whether the Fed is going to justify and say like, hey, well, inflation's tamed. It's not 9% anymore. It's 2.6, it's 2.4, it's 2.5. That's still higher. If we go from a 2% inflation to 3% inflation, that's not good, right? Because everything's going to be more expensive. And I think that prices are going to skyrocket even more in the coming months. Take a look at this chart. Here's the 1970s versus the 2020s. That's an official measure inflation in the 1970s, when inflation, as we know, ran hot for nearly a decade. We saw the initial spike higher, and then shortly after that, we had a balance and then a bigger second wave that lasted even years, and it crushed the economy. If it wasn't for raising rates to a crazy amount, I mean, it would have been like the Great Depression all over again. Now, watch what happens when I take the same chart from the 1970s and put it on the 2020s. That was our wave. We had that wave. We've been following the exact same inflationary pattern. You have that huge spike that's unexpected. We settle things back down, and then inflation starts to resurface. So what do you think comes next? On the current path, there is a real risk of an even bigger second wave of inflation hitting soon. Okay, that sends the cost of living even higher. Now, I know that the cost of living could go so high that we're talking about numbers that people can't wrap their head around, right? Some economists are even saying that the household could increase expenses by another $22,000 per year. How are we going to keep up if there's another $2,000 of expenses every single year just to get by, right? And that is why I'm a mission to show all of you exactly how we could offset this ever rising cost of living by targeting this extra income every Monday. One trade, one ticker at the same time each week. Okay. I keep drilling that home like a broken record because it is that simple. Absolutely anybody can learn how to use this technique. You can do it from anywhere and you can do it anytime. Now, as long as you have access to any regular brokerage account, you can be on your cell phone with the broker app. You could be on a tablet or a laptop. You could be plugged into your computer. It's just a few clicks of a button to get in the trade. Literally, this trade takes less than 60 seconds. Okay. You can begin targeting the extra income with me every Monday. Now, we did March, we did April, we did May. How about June? We went through an April sell-off. We went through a recovery in May, right? We have April at $5,012. We have May with a nice little bounce, $5,036. During the June rally, yet again, weekly windfalls went 4 for 4. Another month without a single loser. And there's 1250, 1000, 1000, and 1044. That's another $42.94 in extra income during the month of June. Now, for some of you, the extra income of $4,200 cash could be life-changing money. Maybe not. Maybe it's barely noticeable. Maybe it's just getting paid. But I think it's going to help regardless, because whether you're small account, big account, doesn't really matter. It's enough to move the needle in your day-to-day life. Okay. Catch up on some bills, replenish your savings, or even surprise yourself, treat yourself, go out for a weekend getaway, do something you love. Now, just to recap, so far we've talked about 16 trades that would have happened back to back to back. 16 for 16. Now we're entering them all at the same time, Monday, like clockwork at 11:59 a.m. And this is each week. So we're getting paid right around $1,000 for our weekly goal with our $5,000 risk. And can you see how that really adds up, right? It snowballs, or in this case, I call it waterfall. Okay, because between these 16 back-to-back examples alone, they really could have added up for an extra, this is crazy, $19,297 in just 4 months. That helps a lot of people. Okay, on an annualized basis, we're talking about $57,000 extra income. That's like getting a $57,000 raise at work. Not many people do that. Okay. How many of you got a $57,000 raise last year? Probably not very many. Now, with the success rate of 97.1%, okay, you can see that's just the back testing for 11 plus years. But I wanted to prove this thing works. So what did I do? I put my real money on the line, and we're 24 for 24 in the last month and a half. Okay. Live money trade so far. Now, you might be thinking, it seems like there's hardly any risk at all. Can you even lose? Of course you can. Of course I can, right? Nothing is ever guaranteed in the markets, and that's why you should never invest more than you can afford to lose. This is risk capital after all. But the fact is, I designed these weekly windfalls to help limit losses because I don't want to place a losing trade, and nor should you, right? And thanks to a simple risk-cutting trick that I'll share with you today, I'm proud to say these weekly windfalls are truly the safest way that I've ever seen to consistently target extra income each and every week. Just like the next trade, first Monday in July, $1,044 of income. The week after that, second Monday in July, $2,377 in extra income. So the secret behind this income technique lies in taking advantage of a little known niche in the options market. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, Chris, aren't options risky? Okay, the answer is yeah, they can be, but only if you use them the way that most folks use them, which is probably the wrong way. Okay, most people think of buying options when they talk about options. And yes, buying options can be risky. Why? Because you can lose 100% of what you pay for the option. And you also have to pay for the premium, that is what the price has to move in order for you to get in profit. So you're against time, you're against direction, and you're doing things the market doesn't like to do. Now, it's how speculators leverage large sums of money, hoping that the stock market moves in the right direction over a certain period of time. And the problem is when you're long options, okay, you often don't get the payoff when you buy them. Because if you see this most of the time, 95% of all option buyers are going to lose money by expiration, even if they're right about the underlying move, which is crazy. You can be right in direction, but if price doesn't go far enough and fast enough, you will waste all your money. This means that investors who buy options are typically wasting their money. Now, A lot of folks don't realize this because there's another way to play the game. And the options market is truly seen as a hedge game. It is seen as a zero-sum game. So meaning when an option buyer loses, the seller wins. So in an ideal world, if buying options loses about 95% of the time, it stands to reason that a seller of those options would win 95% of the time. And that's why it makes sense that you're seeing with me a 97.1% success rate from the study that we did. Now, essentially, we're selling options to speculators. To make things simple, I tell my readers, think about it this way. You are now the casino. So when you're buying options, you're the gambler. You're sitting at the casino table. You're sitting at the chair. You're at the slot machine. You're just hoping for the big win. You've got your card tapped up and topped up, and you're pulling the lever every single 30 seconds or 10 seconds, just waiting for a free drink or so, hoping to win big. And what happens? You just watch that balance go down and down and down. Jackpots are not there. Casinos didn't get built on people making money. Okay. So when you're selling options, you switch sides. You go from being the sucker that waits to just lose a bunch of money over times and transactions and sample sizes to becoming the house and collecting money from almost every single transaction. And that is why we're able to target this $1,000 almost every single week in a bull market or even a bear market. Now, how about the very next trade? Third Monday in July, $1,379 in extra income. Monday after that, $2,081 in extra income. In nearly 30 years of trading, I have never seen a more consistent strategy. Okay, this is super reliable, super systematic, and honestly, you won't be able to get these type of steady returns, I don't think, anywhere else. With that type of win rate, that type of confidence, what this market loves to do, this is why I love the strategy. Okay, now let's say you had $5,000 stashed away in a high yield savings account. Okay, people, I know a lot of people. In fact, no joke, Rowley, you have no idea I'm talking about this. I literally had a client just call me. I haven't talked to this client in 2 years. This client did exactly what I'm about to show you. He took about an $800,000 account and wanted to go into a high yield savings account. Okay. Now, $800,000 is like, okay, you can make some money. It's risk free. But watch, $5,000 in a high yield savings account, you're walking away with $237 almost in a year. Awesome, right? Who cares? Okay. Now you put that in the S&P. S&P's had a monster rally. It's up over 20% for the year. You'd be up $1,000. Yippee skippy. Now you take that same starting stake in the weekly windfall over the last 10 months and you bring in $39,000 plus. So it's not even close, right? That's not even after a full year. So it's not like you need to be watching the markets like a hawk to get these type of returns. The whole point is this trade is set up with me on a Monday, and we set it up in our broker platform, and we let our brokers actually do all the work to close it out for us as well. So this means less time in front of the screens, and it means more time spending doing the things you love. So this is actually me. That's me in a fishing trip in Sacramento. Actually, it's up in Weaverton, up in Northern California. That's my girlfriend, soon to be wife. We're in Germany. We took an awesome trip this summer. And that is us. Also, that's me getting a butter beer at Universal Studios. And then quick side comment. That's me on the far right, looking like I'm a tiny person. I'm 6'4", and my brother's 6'8" on the left, and my two nephews are 6'7" and 6'7". So somehow I got the short end of the stick being 6'4", and I feel like I've never been tall in my life, which is kind of crazy. So believe me, in all my years of trading, I've never seen anything like this. And no, this has nothing to do with taking risky naked options. Okay, like I'll show you in just a moment, we're targeting this weekly income, and it's no harder than tapping in that little 3-inch putt. It's no harder than shooting a layup. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter who your brokerage is, how much experience you have in the markets. Okay, anyone can start using this brand new method to help target some extra income right away. Same trade every Monday, same time, and I'm going to show you everything you need to know. Start doing this groundbreaking income today. Okay, so I'll be holding this live step-by-step workshop on how to exactly take this trade, targeting these payouts with just a few clicks of the mouse. I'll include the full details from placing the first trade right along with you, put it in our trade alerts, getting it sent out to you. You can start using this technique as soon as I go live. All right. Now, typically, if I just run a class like this, we're going to charge $497, but I'm going to give you this for free. Okay, once you get your hands on this step-by-step video course, you will be shocked at how clear-cut this really is. Now, you can start using this each and every week if you want to. Just by hitting a few buttons, you can have the trade locked and loaded, and all you really have to do is wait and let the broker close it out. Now, we've done March, April, May, June, July. Let's go to August. August 5th, set the trade up, 11:59 a.m. Extra income hands-free, $955. Okay, how about the next week? August 12th, $983. These types of opportunities are available right now as we speak. And if you want to see just how straightforward these weekly windfalls are with your own eyes, now's your chance to get in the live session with me on Monday. Okay. So if you'd like to follow along, watch over my shoulder, copy and paste a trade with me, whether it's a live account or a paper account, it doesn't matter. Just learn the process with me and see what we do and how we do this. But I'll give you it step by step. I'll be in the trenches with you. And I want you to claim this workshop. Okay. Make the strategy your own just by subscribing to my brand new weekly income service, Waterfall Income. Okay. Waterfall Income is the only service that I know of that targets these weekly windfalls every Monday with the same systematic trade each and every week. The success rate is as high as I could possibly make it. I can't ask for a perfect track record. I'd never ever talk or sell something that's 100%. Even though we are 24 for 24, I know we're going to take some losses, but I don't expect to take very many, right? So we are trading with absolute confidence here. Yes, plus I have the 100% win rate. I get it, but I will also guide you through, and I've already told traders this. I will guide you through any troubled water ahead, any type of way we had to deviate. We will switch directions. If we're going bullish, we can absolutely go bearish. If the market takes a big nosedive, we will be going bearish, and we'll make some money there too. Okay. So I'm aiming to bring on new members today, all walks of life, whether you're just getting started or you've been in the markets for years. Okay. And I'll reveal the ticker that we talk about each and every Monday, but let me show you how this is going to work. Every Monday at 11:59, we're going to be in class together live at 11:30. I'll verify the data. I'll post the weekly windfall alert in your new member area, and I'll package up the alert, send it out to your email, hit your cell phone, just like what happened the next Monday in August. There's your email. There's your new Waterfall Income alert. You set it up with your broker platform. Literally takes 60 seconds. You put it in, and you spend the next week doing whatever you want, right? Take a vacation. Take care of life. Enjoy life. My gosh, it's too short. Sure enough, anyone would have followed along would have seen 1101 in extra income with that same $5,000 risk. And the opportunities like this just keep rolling in. Here's the next week, 1672. That's 2386 in just a couple of weeks. Now, this is money that you can pay off some debt. This can help the kids, help the grandkids, maybe start planning your next vacation, right? Maybe just having some extra cash around. Look, these are all great choices to have, but what's nice is we're not worried about money all the time, right? That's got to be a good feeling. Like wealth is measured by just money that's left over. That's what it is. Okay. So if you know me, you know that I believe in teaching my students how to fish. Now, if you're new to trading options and you just want to level up your skills or you need to level up your skills, that's great. I have an options trading boot camp. I got a full video series with this. I cover all the basics on how to trade options successfully. All right. There's no secret left unturned. I will give you everything that I've learned as a professional trader over the past 2 decades. Now we're going to kick off this thing with a kickstart class. You're going to trade with me live. I go live on Monday. Everything you need to hit the ground running, along with the starting guide as well. Now, you'll never guess how my waterfall income is performing. Okay. You'll never have to guess. Why? Because I'm tracking it right there with you. I track all the performance. They show all of the 550 trades we took over an 11-year period in a back test, and then the 24 for 24 we are right now with our results. And I want to compare them to the S&P 500. Okay. So before I open the doors to waterfall income, here's what really gets me excited about these weekly trades. Take a look at this track record for the last 11 years, 97.1% success rate. Now, as you can imagine, consistent results like this stack up like crazy over time. And over 11 years, we've seen some stuff. It's not just like, oh, Chris, it's the bull market. We had 20% pullbacks in 2015-16. We saw melt up in 2017 with a crash at 20+% in 2018. We melted up again in 2019, had a 30 to 40% crash during COVID in 2020, melted up again in 2020 to 2021, fell in 25 to 35% in 2022, right? We've had some ups and downs over the course of these last 11 years, and we're still stacking up these consistent results. Now, what's most impressive is how the strategy outperforms the S&P during the same period. So let's say you invested $5,000. Now, a $5,000 investment in the S&P for that same duration is going to turn a $5,000 account into $27,300. That's pretty great, okay? But if you took that same starting stake each week in the weekly windfall, it's not even the same ballpark, right? The same chunk, the same risk, the same strategy, but we put it in waterfall income, $458,000 over the same 11-year win, or the same 11-year period, right? That's crazy profit, right? That profit factor at 7.15, that is kicking the pants off the S&P. Now, I realize that's a big number, okay? And of course, I'm not talking about getting rich overnight. This happened over a 10-year period, okay? But if you can see how powerful these waterfall income opportunities are, we stack them up week after week. We are out earning the S&P by nearly 1,500%. So it shouldn't shock you why my publisher price this waterfall income strategy at $34.95 a year, right? You go to the website. If you're not in this webinar, you go to the website, it's $34.95. Now that's 1 year of access. And I think that's more than fair considering that we have 6-figure profit potential, like I showed you here in the last 10 years. Now that's an average of around 41,687 per year. We're talking about 42 grand on average. Okay. But luckily for you with us today, your membership is not $34.95. Okay. Bonus number 1, the average winner with my waterfall income. I want to put 2 of those credits towards your subscription cost. Okay. The average winner that we had here for a 10+ year period is $1,015, taking that standard $5,000 risk. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay it forward, okay, not just once, but twice. I'm taking off 2 weeks of these winners, and I'm basically giving you the 2 winners on me. So that cuts the subscription cost down, right? So think of this as your first 2 successful weekly windfalls, and that cuts the price from $34.95 down to $14.65 for the entire year. Now, that brings me to this, bonus number 2. I want you to try this out for 100 days with me, right? The students that have been with me from day 1 have been in the service for about 30 to 40 days. Now, what did they just do in the last 30 to 40 days? If they took the same trades with me that I placed in my live account, they just went 24 for 24. They have paid for the service, okay? Now, that's why I'm backing this up with an industry-leading 100-day money-back guarantee. So join the income service with me for 100 days, take the trades with real money or paper trade it, learn the process, totally up to you. And if at any point you don't think the gains are up to par or you don't like the education, that's fine. I'm not offended. You do you. But I'm going to trade it regardless. So call the team. We'll give you a refund. No big deal. But let me be clear. Okay, if you're hoping to become an overnight millionaire, if you need a rags to riches story, trading isn't for you. Okay, I don't care what you think and what you read on Twitter, what you see on, it's not for you. Okay, gambling on risky stocks doesn't work. Okay, I will give you the full 100 days worth of trading so you can evaluate the membership. And after that, if you don't like it, we can part as friends, no big deal. Now, see you in the live markets whenever you want, but the choice is yours. So I'm aiming to bring on new members, all walks of life, all new traders to join me next week. And if you're ready to take action and join the Waterfall Income Service, now's your chance. Okay, these alerts will hit every Monday around the same time, every Monday at 11:59 a.m. You'll be in the live session with me as well. I want you to claim those savings up front. So $2,030 in savings with that 100-day money-back guarantee, plus all the other goodies. Go ahead and click on the link that we pop in the chat. Now, I'm going to put the chat in here in just a moment. These are going to fly off the shelves. I know we got a bunch of traders in the service already, but after this deal, it's up to my publisher to decide what to do with the price. If we raise it back up to $34.95, that's their call, not mine. Now, with that being said, go and drop that link. I've got some other bonuses to talk about. So $34.95, only $14.65 for instant access. I'm giving you the first 2 winners on me. Okay, that is a new Waterfall Income alert every Monday. And you can click on the link there, prosperitypub.com/windfall. You can give us a call and talk to the team member, 321-888-3962. Press 1. Again, that is prosperitypub.com/windfall. All right. Now, I've instructed my team to add an additional best deal discount. Call it Black Friday, call it early Christmas, call it whatever you want. I think you need to check out the order form to see it. Now, the best deal on the order form, the best deal that my team can give will expire tonight. So click on the link, give us a call before it's too late and the price changes. Now, once you secure your Waterfall Income membership, listen, don't close the next page. I am not giving away some fancy software, some crazy awesome indicator, some this, some that. Listen, I'm going to spend extra time with you as my thank you. Okay. My value to me is in the service, in the education, in the mentorship, and the guidance. And so I want to give you an invite to upgrade to lifetime with no renewal fees ever again. So a lifetime member will get access to this. I'm going to give you a class with max profit waterfall alerts. Now that means we're going to take the weekly windfall trades and we're going to amplify the gains on every trade, right? So we make a slight modified trade to adjust the risk and reward, and we want bigger gains, you can get them. Okay, we're talking more than $1,000 a week here with that same standard risk. So make sure you sign up for lifetime, and I'll give you the max profit waterfall class to go with that. And you can unlock access to gains like this. We talked a lot about $1,000 here, $1,100 here, $1,300 here. Now we're talking those same type of trades with the max waterfall, $2,343 for that week, $2,656 for that week, $3,000 for that week, $3,690 for that week. Okay, but you need to sign up for lifetime when you join today, and I can't guarantee that this bonus is going to be free and included with the lifetime for much longer. Now, $14.65 for instant access. Upgrade to lifetime will give you the max waterfall trade session. Okay, and I'm not done. Like I said, I'm going to sweeten the deal with my time. I know what my time is worth. All right, for fun, I teach golf lessons in the evenings. I charge $200 an hour. I know what my time is worth. Okay. I want to sweeten the deal for my lifetime members. Bonus number 2, a lifetime members VIP class on advanced trade management. I will teach you how to step by step increase the probabilities and provide backup plans for every waterfall income strategy. Okay. Bonus number 3, another class. This means a lot to me. I am willing to spend my time with you and give these times to you. Another bonus class will be the class on turning the waterfall into a tidal wave. Okay. For those of you that want more trades, when these waterfall income alerts close early at the profit target that we set, let the broker do the work for us automatically. I'll show you how to simply reopen another trade at another time and continue to manage these trades. Now, this is pretty crazy. The tidal wave strategy took the same back test from the same 11-year period, and we went from a 97.1% success rate to a 98.3% success rate, and we also doubled the profits. Okay? So, would you like to win more and make more? Probably. So, get all 3 of those bonuses for free when you upgrade to lifetime today. On top of that, I don't even know if I have a slide for this, but I'm going to throw this out there too. I just created an 11 video, 13 strategy options course that I want you to have as well for being a lifetime member. So if you are a lifetime member, 1 second here, I do have a live trade that I want to check on very quickly. SPY. I had a long call in this morning. Sorry, oh my gosh, what are we? We're 2 hours and change away. Well, I guess I just got to let it run. Let's see when we get up to 600 today. We'll see if we close it. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I don't want to distract. Anyway, I've got live trades going. That's fine. But so all 3 bonuses, okay, the tidal wave class, the max profit class, plus the advanced trade management. And like I said, I just finished. It's got a full strategy guide, 11 videos on 13 of my favorite options strategy. I want to give that to you as well for lifetime membership. All right. All right. Let me go back to this. So all that is for $14.65. If you upgrade to lifetime, I'll give you all those extra bonuses, all that extra time with me. And without a doubt, waterfall income is the, I would say, simplest, consistent, and simplest income generating strategy that I've ever seen. All right. And that's saying a lot because we have seen some truly incredible success stories. I see these every single day, actually. Look, I'm pretty new to InvestPub and Prosperity Pub, but I'm seeing some great success with my courses, my students, and my members and followers, and I freaking love it. It's awesome. So here's some of the top stories. Now, again, this sounds like I'm bragging, but I'm not. I'm just reading through testimonials that people have written in for me. Chris is very detailed and easy to understand. More importantly, the strategy works. I've only had 1 loss since joining, and it's small and manageable. The rest of the days were all winners, 15% or more. Okay, awesome from David there. I started with you in September. My account size, I'm up $1,000 a day on average, says Kathy. Ridiculous. Come on, keyboard. I guess not. All right, we'll use the mouse. Not only am I making money with Chris, but I'm learning heaps from his daily videos. He shows us why the market's doing what they're doing, and it really helps my understanding. Excellent tutor from Phil. I trade daily with Chris in his trade room. 16 wins, 1 loss since I started. Chris is a great coach, explaining and managing risk, and he does it all live each and every morning. Okay, here's Kathy again. Chris is a genius. I've been trading about 4 years now. I'm retiring in December to trade full time. I'm now more excited than ever to make my next career as a trader. Okay, hey, Chris, really appreciate your teaching. As of now, I've had all straight wins, made over $10,000 in less than 2 weeks. You are the best I've seen anywhere in more than 15 years of trading. Thank you, Sandy. That's so nice. Obviously, that's super, super nice. Okay, and here's Troy, unbelievable teacher as well as a trader. I've studied with 4 other top online gurus, and no one could hold a candle to Chris. Okay, again, I have to read that stuff because it's on the slide, but point is, I love hearing those success stories. Okay, you can be those students. All of you have the opportunity to take the same trades those student takes, the same trades I take, and I can't wait to hear from you when you join the Waterfall Income Strategy. Okay, so don't miss out on what could be the 25th straight win. The best deal on the order form expires tonight. Don't pay the full retail price. $34.95, marking it down to $14.65. The best deal expires tonight. Again, that is prosperitypub.com/D. Nope. prosperitypub.com/windfall. The Zoom thing was in the way. And then give us a call if that would get out of the way. Come on, area code 321-888-3962. Press 1. All right. And like I said, bonus wise, got some bonuses. Now, remember what this is. This is 1 trade, 1 ticker at the exact same time each and every week. And remember what we went through: March, April, May, June, July, August. Now we're to September. Here's week 1, $12.97. Okay. How about the following week? 1150. How about the following week? Okay. We have our waterfall income hit your email, place the trade, grab that win. Okay. Now we're present all the way up to November 8th. We closed out 16 for 16 this week alone with the actually, I'm sorry, 18 of 18 this week alone with the previous 6 being winners as well. So we are currently 24 for 24. Look, I want to be the 25th trade with you. So let's do it, right? Okay, now, before I open to the chat, I want to answer a couple questions. This pops up with a lot of traders because you want to know, can I trade this? How easy is it to get the strategy? Do I need $5,000 to take these trades? No. Okay. I said earlier, if you have a small account, you can take these trades for as little as $100. Okay. You can take this trade for as little as about $60 to $70 per trade. If you want to start small, have to start small, do start small. You can take these trades for as little as literally $60 to $70. Okay. So do you need $5,000 to take the trade? No, not at all. These are dirt cheap. Okay. What's the ticker? I trade this on the SPY and the QQQ, the two most liquid tickers in the markets. Why do we place a trade every Monday at 11:59 a.m.? Here's why. Monday is historically the best day of the week to buy stocks, right? Think about this. The market has an objective each and every week. How much money can the market make, right? You've got traders, you got funds, you got institutions, you got companies. Companies are operating literally quarter to quarter, just trying to keep the stocks going higher, okay? Hedge funds are trying to grind out these gains and make all their clients happy. Financial advisors are trying to keep everybody in the tank. 401ks are trying to force buy trades every single month. So Mondays, if you think about the start of the week, the market just kind of churns and grinds and typically pulls back on Monday. So the average S&P returns by the week are actually the crappiest on Mondays, which is perfect because we get a nice little discount each and every week. And so we get the most bang for our buck on Mondays, which is why I love the strategy. Okay. Can you trade this in an IRA? Yes. Can you trade this in a retirement account? Yes, if you have an IRA. Okay. I know I'm pretty close to the team at Tasty Trade. If you have a cash account, you can't trade spreads on a cash account. If you have that cash account as an IRA distinction or an IRA dedication, or just open up an IRA account, you absolutely can trade spreads. So if you have an IRA account, yes, you can trade spreads. You can absolutely do the strategy, and you can also use your typical margin account as well. If you have a margin account that's over 25 grand, no pattern day trading requirements or restrictions, you can trade whatever you want. Because this trade is putting the same trade on a Monday, we're rarely, if ever, placing a trade on Monday and closing on Monday. So this will not be a pattern day trading issue, okay? You can place a trade on Monday. The average holding time is about 11 days. My live trades we just did the last month and a half, we did 24 for 24 at a 12-day holding period. So this is not a pattern day trading thing. So can your account size be small? Yes. If you have an IRA and can trade spreads, yes, you can take this trade. Okay. Now, 1465 instant access. We've gone through that. Let me take some live questions. Now, one more thing. I want to go to the bonuses really quickly. All right. My bonuses for this one for lifetime upgrades, it's all time. I want to spend a lot of time with my VIP members. I want to spend a lot of time with my lifetime members. And like I said, I have this course. It's called Practical Options. I have this course out there just on an on-demand page that I can sell anywhere, but I'm going to give that to you. I'm charging $497 for that class right now. It is a full strategy guide. It's about 70 pages. It's 11 videos. It's 13 of my favorite option strategies that I trade all the time in up, down, sideways markets. It's an income generator for me. I will give that to you for free. That's bonus education on top of all the lifetime we get to spend together. I want to give that to you as an extra bonus. So I know that's not in the deck here, not in the slides, but that's a big deal. I spent a lot of time in that. It's probably 20 hours of content, research, and education, and crafting and progression. So to me, it's not just a giveaway. It's like you show me that you want to trust the process. You show me that you want to get into the service. I want to reward you for that. Okay.
That's fantastic. And Chris, that's in addition to the options trading boot camp or supplements that, I guess, if you will.
That is correct.
That's unbelievable. Fantastic. Well, first of all, Chris, terrific presentation. I think we have a lot of people are interested just gauging from the kind of questions that were being asked. And this was an interesting one. It kind of came in early because people are excited about joining today and being with you on Monday, but there's concern. Monday's Veterans Day. Does that have an impact on you? I know the markets are open technically, but
yeah. It doesn't matter. If Wall Street is open and our brokers are allowing trades, we'll place a trade on Monday.
Yeah. The New York Stock Exchange and the CBOE are open. The only market that's closed is the bond market. Okay, but that was a
Cool.
great question from Janet on that.
Yeah,
And
good
then
question.
just to that point, there may be times when Monday is closed. Do you just forget that week and move to the next week, or do you look at Tuesday being a surrogate for Monday?
I'll say that's my discretion. I'd like to just trade on Tuesday. I mean, I'd like to be very, think about it this way. The power of the strategy takes one of the best phenomenons in the market. If you're a vampire and you're immortal and you can go back and trade for a century and all you did was put $1,000 in the market back in 1928, you making some money today? You're up like 780,000% on your capital. Okay. So what we're doing is we are essentially using options, which is a leverage instrument, to dollar cost average into the most liquid instruments in the world. And we will do this. And if the market clearly turns over and we enter a bad phase where we're planning on downtimes, we're planning on recessions, we're planning on bear markets, then we flip this and our waterfall goes the other way. But for what this market has done for over 90 years or nearly 90 years, that would be it keeps going higher. It goes through wars and recessions and expansions, and we have all these business cycles, and we've got all this crap with monetary policy and fiscal policy. It doesn't matter. Okay. This has been the world's greatest wealth generator in the world. Okay. Warren Buffett calls compounding gains the eighth wonder of the world. We're essentially using these phenomenons with positive drift and dollar cost averaging into what the markets do, which is trying to go higher. They will do everything in their power to go higher. And if they don't go higher, guess who's there to backstop it? The financial markets, the Fed, the central banks. Like, it's crazy what this
Right.
is doing. It's just trying to keep pace with what the inflation game is right now. The inflation game is still running hot. It's still bubbling the surface. And right now it's like every person that is not invested, and it's sad to say this, every person that's not invested in some capacity is just getting absolutely hammered. You just don't make enough money week to week or month to month to survive. It's just not fair. And to have a little bit of cash sitting around and have that cash work for you in a big way, you can beat inflation. You can stay ahead of inflation. You can keep pace with inflation. It just takes the stress out of the day to day. It's like, look, man, money is a stressor. It is a huge grind. It sucks to feel like it's always a struggle. So you got to fight back. You got to do something. And I think investing is, for me, it's been, one of the greatest things I can have because it's recession proof, right? I can
Sure.
find a way to trade bull and bear markets. You should too. You should be excited about whatever the market throws at us. We're prepared for it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
No, that's a great point. And some of the follow-up questions that came here was that with regard to the options, a bunch of people are wondering, so Chris, what level options do I need to make sure that I have to take advantage of these trades?
Yep, I talked about that bonus class, that practical options. I actually took screenshots of brokers from Tasty Trade, Schwab, Webull, Robinhood, Interactive Brokers. I took their levels 1, 2, 3, and 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever options permissions they have. You need to at least be able to trade spreads. So if you can do a two-leg spread, whether it's a debit spread or credit spread, you can take the strategy.
Okay.
So that's it. So most of it's going to be like a level 2 permission for most traders out there, but some brokers that say level 0, you need to be a level 1. But as long as you can place a two-leg debit spread or credit spread, you are good for the strategy.
That sounds great. And folks, what Chris is saying, and I found the same thing. There's no standardization over level 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Right.
Brokers assign different values to it, but you need to be able to place a two-legged credit or debit spread. That's what you need to tell them that you want. And I know from that
Absolutely.
standpoint, Chris, we were on with Jack Carter a couple of weeks ago. He was funny. He was cracking me up. He was saying, don't ask them for permission. Tell them that's what you want
Yeah.
because you're the customer, you know.
Yeah, he's dead right because if you look, this is what the game is, right? You have to basically complete an investor profile for all these brokers. And I'm not asking you to lie, okay? But here's what you say. You have extensive knowledge, you're looking to speculate and grow your account, and you want the highest options permission as possible. Period. And so like Raleigh just said that Jack says, tell them, look, do not accept that the broker says, well, congratulations, you just open your account with us. We'll give you level 1 options. You can just buy buy a call, buy a put. Unacceptable. Because I just told you, if you're long options, you are overpaying for that premium with a market that typically doesn't move far enough and fast enough to get you the profit you want. So you need to be an option seller to really be more consistent. And on top of that, if you can create trades that are 2 and 3 and 4 legs, you can add all these risk-defined ways to protect your capital and hedge if you want to learn this stuff.
Right.
So the point is, do not accept a broker's answer to say like, well, you're new to us, and so we're not going to give you anything more than basic. It's like, Tell them you want to trade spreads. Tell them your experience. Tell them you want to trade the highest option submissions. I will say this, the only thing that's acceptable from a broker is to say, I'm sorry, Raleigh, we won't let you trade naked calls. Cool. Because the market can go up indefinitely and to infinity. So if they don't let you trade a naked call, no big deal. But don't do that anyway, right? But a
Right.
two-leg spread should be the bare minimum, and you will love this strategy if you can at least trade those 2 legs.
Right. And this is the strategy, once again, to be clear, folks. This is the strategy that Chris uses that has generated 24 consecutive winners in a row. Okay.
Yep.
So, from that perspective, and it's focused on a ticker that's going to give that result. And there's a reason why this is a spread.
Yep.
Let's see here. So, great question from Doug. He says, man, no losses. Well, when a loss happens, how big is that loss? How, do you use a stop loss, or if the trade's going against you, do you minimize it, or do you just take the full hit?
I will take the full hit, and I'll give you an example. Okay. This week, I probably generated close to, it's got to be close to like, I'll do rough math here. Okay. I'd have to look at my broker statement exactly, but 24. Okay. I think my keyboard's dead, man. 24 times, or I'm going to be like conservative here. Okay. I probably made $2,400 this week on just the waterfall income strategy. Okay. Now, if I were to lose, okay, and I'm going to answer a couple questions here. If I were to take a loss, the reason I'm spending a lot of time with my members too and my followers for the lifetime is I will teach you how to react to, oh my gosh, the market's going against us. What do we do? Okay. There's ways to trade these spreads where we don't have to have assignment risk. There's ways to take these trades where we may have assignment risk. Okay. And I'm putting it out there because I know traders that have preferences, right? I don't mind owning shares. Okay. So if I own shares, I will repair it and I will make money as a net result. But some traders don't like to do that. I will admit it is a lot more work, but I'm willing to put in that work. I teach you how to do that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want assignment, trade a debit spread and you can hold that thing all the way to expiration and it trades just like a European option. There's no assignment risk. That's the easiest answer. So the risk would be something like this. I mentioned all these, if you're going to make $1,000, you're risking $5,000. Take it down. Let's say we're going to risk $100. Okay. If we're going to risk $100, we're going to make like $20. Okay. So that means that for $20 I make, I'm going to risk about $80. But think about this, 97% win rate. That $20 stacked up week after week after week after year, that is why this P&L and this equity curve is like bottom left to top right, and it is silky, silky smooth. And we're talking through some choppy markets. We saw a 2-year range. We've seen literally booms and busts for the last 6 years, and it's not going to stop. I mean, this market is so much more emotional now than ever before. I mean, seriously, like the amount of flow and the amount of like retail trading and the amount of option volume we're seeing, that is why these markets are led by these crazy euphoric rises and then these crazy scary crashes. It's not
Right.
going to be any different. So we have to have a strategy that is risk defined. So I don't have to worry about the risk because I know what it is up front. So that's the most
Okay.
important thing is it's risk defined.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is this, once again, without basically using any more elaborate strategies, as you pointed out, when you have a win rate that you do and you're stacking these things up, you're going to have losses, but they're so far outweighed by the winning trades. Now, Bob asked a question here. He said, just to be clear, do I have to have a $25,000 cash trading account?
No. So like I said, let me be very clear on this. The cash account has to be an IRA. All right. If you're with a broker and you have an IRA account, IRA accounts allow you to trade options. So I have traders with me that trade 4-leg options and 3-leg options and 2-leg options. So an IRA account, you can trade options. With a straight cash account, most brokers do not let you trade anything on a cash account outside of basic call options, buy only, buy put up. Like, so you have to be able to have an IRA account distinction if you're using the cash side. Do an IRA account. For the $25,000 account, all I'm saying there is a lot of traders understand that there is a $25,000 margin account if you don't want pattern day trading to apply. And that means, so the rule is this, if you take 3 trades a week or less, you're not flagged for pattern day trading. Okay. So if you have under $25,000 in a margin account, you can take 3 trades a week. And that means like open and close, open and close, open and close within a week. That's 3 times. You can do that and not get flagged. The 4th time you do that, the broker will flag you as a pattern day trader and you might get locked up for like a week. They might give you a warning. So don't do that. And so traders work around that all the time in my services. They will have a smaller account that's a margin account, and they trade, $5,000 or $10,000 on this account in a broker that's over here, and then $5,000 or $10,000 on another account with a broker over here. And so those brokers don't communicate. You've got cash, but you can trade 2 trades a week here, 3 trades a week here, and it's never a problem. This service doesn't really have anything to worry about like that because we're only taking trades on Monday, and these trades typically take about 11 to 12 days to close. So there's no pattern day trading when our trades are going from entry to exit, days later. Not a big deal.
Sure. Yeah, and Dean just wrote in that he has a Schwab cash account with $2,000, and he's allowed to take bull put spreads and bear call spreads.
Dean's got it then. That's
And you,
perfect.
exactly. And then
Yeah.
Dean, thank you for sharing, that personal information
Yep.
with the rest of us. So another question that came up was, given the fact that the average hold time is 11 days, how many positions could you be in at any given time?
Well, what happened this week was a good example. We had, I had between the SPY and the Qs, I had 18 open positions that have been built up over the last about 4 weeks. Now, I want to kind of give that a disclaimer here, okay? I have been intentionally aggressive with this strategy because I've been bullish in the market. And I did believe that regardless of what happened with the election, where we're going for the rest of the year is what the market's been doing. It's been going up. So moving forward, I will be a little bit more cautious because I don't need to take, a debit spread and a credit spread and this trade on all these different symbols. It's like, so I'm just going to do my thing, do a very typical waterfall income, and then manage it. And it should be totally fine to kind of cruise in with some nice systematic wins for the rest of the year. But I was very bullish going into this election. I was eager to see if we had some dips and pullbacks. And we got a little bit one pre-election, but it was, to the tune of 3 to 4%, no big deal. So it was perfect to see the market pull back for us and stall. And then literally the election gap so just so you know, and Raleigh knows this too, it's like I managed accounts here. I think I had to clear up about 165 trades on Wednesday morning and another 120 trades on Thursday just because they all hit my profit targets and I've got all these accounts. So like my chimes and bells and whistles are all going off because my trades are closing out because I took the trade. The broker had the alert already set for the take profit, and it was just closing trades left and right. So that was a fun week, but it was also pretty distracting when I'm just overwhelmed with like, oh my gosh, my broker's like closing out these things and I'm just making sure I'm tracking everything. So
Sure.
to answer the question, it'll be a little bit less insane because now it's like slow and steady and we cruise as opposed to like I was really aggressive going in this last month of this service.
Exactly. Now, in this program where you're issuing like a trade a week, because
Mm-hmm.
in your particular case, you're trading multiple trades. But in this program with the trade a week, you get a trade in on Monday. Let's say it's average the whole day. The next Monday, you're probably into the trade. So you could be in three.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, you could be in three, and that gets to the waterfall, folks, because as
Yeah.
one is basically it closes itself out. The money's coming in, the next one's running every Monday. And what the other thing is this, and maybe I missed it, but there were some questions we're asking here. What's so magical about 11:59 a.m.?
Yeah, it's a slide that I showed that historically, it goes back to like 1930. Mondays are typically like a churn day where nothing really happens. And then think about this. If the market is motivated and there's bullish sentiment and the market is motivated to go higher, even if it's like 1% for the entire week or half of 1% the entire week, if we started on a Monday and we went 0.5% higher and we did that week after week after week, we're making money. And so the Monday that just churns or even dips or pulls back, we just basically get that little built-in discount historically that's been very consistent. So that's why I love the Mondays. And I tested it at 9:30 and 10 and 10:30 and 11 and 11:30 and 12 and 1 and 2. So 12 noon was like the perfect spot where I'm like, they're all negligible, right? But it's like
Yes,
my best performance and the systematic way to teach the strategy is right around noon. So
it's right.
so why not? Why not optimize it with like this thing's been great for the last decade plus? I'm like, there's why not? And that also makes it very easy. So the alerts that come to you. So if you're not going to attend the classes live with me, the alerts that come to you, expect them right around that 12 noon Eastern time. So usually I'm in the session live with everybody. We're getting the trades set up. I'm pushing the alerts out right around noon, and you can jump in the broker platform and place them if you like them. So,
That's fantastic.
yep.
And something that you just said that I want to make sure that everybody fully understands, because you did not mishear it. In this program, when you join this program, you will be invited every Monday to meet up with Chris live and basically place his trade.
Yeah.
You know, that's not a
Yep.
that's not a one-time thing, you know. Every Monday you can come in at 11:30, gives you an opportunity to discuss the market, some other things that are going on, but you'll all be prepped and ready to go. And you can look over his shoulder and you can watch him actually place this trade. It's the
Yep.
time that he puts out the alerts. And if you can't be there with him, you'll get the alerts. But I'm not aware that there are that many services at all, Chris, where you're invited at the same time to sit with you and watch you place those trades.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it this way. It's the easiest way to teach. It's the easiest way to see members do it, and it's the easiest way for people to learn the fastest. I'm a big believer that my job as your instructor, as the trader that you're trusting to deliver these strategies is I will do it so you can see it. I will do it so I can prove it. But the way that you learn it is by doing it right alongside me. You
Sure.
learn, I mean, think about anything you've learned over your lifetime. You've learned it by doing it. I personally am a very visual learner and definitely more hands-on. Like once you do it once, I tend to get it. So that's what this system is too. It's like you do it once or you do it twice and you see me doing it as well. It's like, it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. So it is, and I would also, it's like my money is on the line right alongside you. So whatever happens in the market, I've got risk in the market too. So, and the nice thing is I will also teach you that it's fine. Look, if the market were to drop 10% tomorrow, I'd welcome it. All of you should too, because all we're going to do is take maybe one hit or so on the week on the waterfall, and we will build up at those discounts, and we will get the bargain of a year or two or three. And so I'm not worried about a bear market. I'm not worried about a recession. I'm not worried about anything other than sticking with the process for waterfall income and let this thing be a steady income generator for you.
Sure. And you mentioned something a little bit earlier I thought was very interesting. You talked about the 11-year study and you said, hey, guys, let's say, for example, that the market goes on a protracted downward move. You just said, we'll just flip things. We'll just
Yeah.
basically turn it upside down and continue to trade waterfalls, but it's taking advantage of, I guess, the short move in the market then.
Yep. And I mean, if you've ever look, I've been in the market for over 20, 24 years now. I mean, if you think about this, bear markets are not that easy to trade. So you know how people make money in bear markets? They spend years and years and years waiting for a bear market. That's how they trade a bear market. So they're right eventually, but they can lose their butts the entire time just waiting to be right. So I don't love the idea of just going full bear market, because what we see is we might see like a 5 or 10% correction and then an 8 to 9% rally and then another 10% drop. And so if you look at like 2022, it was down and up and down and up, and it did like a big like lower highs, lower lows wave cycle. And then it bottomed out and it troughed. And then we all of a sudden started breaking out late 2022 and we started ripping in 2023 thanks to Mag 7. Then AI stocks got us into this year. But
Right.
a bear market can be either a full-on crash like we saw in 2020, a full-on crash like we saw in 2008 that sustained for months and months and months, or it can be very like prolonged and it just rolls over and it never looks good. So look, if we take chances to the downside, it's fine. But just like everything else, there's going to be risk. But if you
Sure.
think about this one thing. We can trade the bear market for these income generating opportunities, but we're trading the bull market for the long-term horizon.
Right.
If you give the market 10 years, you have a 95% chance of making money. Period. You can buy the absolute tippy top of any time in the S&P, and after a 10-year period, you're about 95% of the way of making money. Now you go out another 5 years, give yourself a 20-year horizon. There has never been a 20-year period where you're not making money. That's the power of this market. It does what it can to go higher. It is designed to be a positive drift market. It is designed to have the most profitable, largest, most powerful companies in the world be the S&P 500, the Nasdaq
You bet.
100, the Russell, the Dow. These are the biggest companies in the world. So that's what we trade.
Absolutely. Question from Sandra said, this is fascinating, but I'm brand new to options. I mean, I'm spanking. Definition of brand new, I've never done
Good.
it.
That's
Is this a
that's the
program that's good for her, do you think?
Yeah, that's the trader that I want. I mean, look, I want all traders, right? But I would love to be the trader, the instructor, the teacher that can get you into a service and go from zero to hero and do it at your own pace, but just see that it can be done. It's only a few clicks of the button, understand the concepts. I would ask Sandra, take advantage of the education. take pride in the education, watch some videos and attend class live, do learn how to do this.
Right.
So, because here's what I'm not doing. I'm not pressing the button for you. Okay. So at some point, paper trade is totally fine so you get comfortable with it, but being comfortable navigating a broker platform. And that's one thing I tell all my members is like, please come to my sessions on Mondays, being comfortable navigating a broker platform. So when I go to my option chain or I go find my instrument and we want to place this trade and create the trade, that you can do it with me. If you can't, every broker has educational videos. They all have platform walkthroughs. There's tons of videos on YouTube. I do that with you and for you. But when we come into these trading sessions, remember, it's called a trading session. So I'm not dilly-dallying with like, hey, let's just talk strategy and let's talk theory. It's like I'm going to trade and I'm going to blend that education. But that's why I have videos. That's why I have strategy guides. That's why I have everything to go with it. So you can also learn at your own pace. So for Sandra, I'll say this. I love being the teacher that can get you involved and know nothing and have no bad habits and learn within literally like 1 or 2 sessions and be right up to speed.
Sure.
I've taught for years. I've taught a lot of education out there. And I know that some traders out there might be a little technically challenged and they can't get into the broker platform and maybe working a computer sometimes is a little difficult. I get it. Okay. But I will say you're going to have to figure it out. And it's not that difficult with, a screen time or a computer or a laptop or having a second screen, a few clicks of the button, just get comfortable. Right now, I know that I talk fast, but a lot of that's just from energy, right? Like I don't drink caffeine. This is literally this is passion for these markets that have poured out of me for the last 20 years. And this is what I'm like all the time. Now, I'm not doing this to talk over anybody. I'm not doing this to talk like I'm smarter than anybody. It's like, this is why I put myself in the trenches and trade with my members every single day.
You bet.
Okay. So I love helping traders accelerate the learning curve. I love helping traders from, even good traders. I mean, I love those testimonials like, I've been trading for 10 years. I've been trading for 5 years. I've followed all these people. I love hearing the feedback that I'm helping people. It's as
Sure.
simple as that. So
Well, the
more
other
more of
thing
that.
that I just wanted to bring to everybody's attention here, because it made a big impact on me, Chris, and that is this, and it gets a little bit back to what I'm trying to think what her name was that Sandra had asked. Can I do this if I'm brand new?
Yep.
And that is this: for a lot of people that have never traded options, it's something that you have to learn how to do, because Chris put up a slide, for example, where he said, look, if you put a bunch of money in a money market account at 4.75%, here's what you
And
would
it's going to
make in
go
a
down, by
year.
the way.
And it is going to go down. Exactly. Interest rates
Yep.
are cutting.
Yep.
But, I think it was $5,000, you made like 175 bucks. And if you just, bought the S&P, something like a buy and hold strategy, you would have just basically made like $1,000. But with the power of options, you were almost approaching 5 or 6,000, whatever the slide was. The thing is this: it is a leveraged instrument, but if you know how to use it, you know, you can basically lever a relatively small amount of money into significant recurring income, if you will, and you can build in risk. You can hedge what you've got going on. Chris has talked about the fact that he's got 45 of his favorite strategies, that he's going to make available. All of these are designed to basically help them generate consistency regardless of the market condition. My point is this: for everybody here is in the room, if you don't know how to trade options, and by the way, Chris, I'm one of them. I'm a futures trader, and my
Okay.
goal is in 2025
Futures
to
options,
shift
Raleigh.
to shift
Futures
into.
options.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I will be with that. I might be one of your students. I'll keep a track of a log. But the
Yeah.
point is, you have to know how to do it. Now, whether you decide to risk real money with it or not, but you should know how to do it. And if you've got somebody like Chris that's holding your hand essentially and helping you with the education, 100-day money back guarantee is plenty of time to absorb the education, come in every Monday to the classes, learn how to place the trades, build your own track record, and move forward with it. But that's my sort of like public service announcement. Whether you decide to trade with real money or not, anybody that's serious about investing and trading in the market should know how to do it with options. I'm convinced of it. And Chris, I work with so many folks like you that are in the option side. I'm like, you had me at a low.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And I mean, I'm really look, the timing of this service, not only, and this is before all the live trades triggered and went off and had winners. It's like That's exactly what I expected to do. It's like, I mean, so I told you I made $2,400. I mean, for my fund, it was more. Let me do the numbers here. So 24 times. All right, so I made about $21,600 this week on my trades. So I mean, do all you trade, several
Outstanding.
million dollars? Probably not. But if I just scale, like, just think about it this way. If it scales down, I'll even go to like me taking the simplest of risks, and I'll go, if all you did with me over the last month with a trade that only cost you $60, you made $480 over the last month with me.
Yep.
So can this system and strategy work? Can the process be proven time and time again on a phenomenon called positive drift and dollar cost averaging? I mean, if I'm just asking you to think about this. Think out 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And I know some people out there might be saying, Chris, I don't have 20 years to trade. Like, I get it. Look, I'm not going anywhere. Okay. This is what I will do until I die. Like, I am going to be a trader for life. I am a trader for life. I've loved this since I really was introduced to it. And this is what I enjoy doing. Okay. Now, I don't do it because it gives me a bunch of like satisfaction. I do it because I want to make a bunch of money, and I'm pretty good at it. Okay.
Sure.
But to me, it's like I grew up as a video game junkie. And to me, this was just a very competitive thing where it's like it felt like a video game. I learned how to read some charts, and I just dove in, and I saw like what money can be if you just consistently generate this gain per week. And this, I mean, the amount of, just for fun, go to a compounding calculator and just put in like 10% a year and give yourself a 10-year horizon to just see what you can do. Now, if you take that same like 1% risk a week and do that over 52 weeks, look at the type of returns you can get.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to beat the S&P and the NASDAQ every single year. Okay. We will flip from bull market to bear market. We will take a trade that uses so little cash that we're never tying up, $50 to $100,000 of income, or we don't have to tie up. It's like we can use a fraction of our account and generate a substantial amount of gains and percentages. So that's what options are so good at, is you can amplify these
Right.
gains with risk-defined strategies, and you can make so much more money by risking so much less. Like,
Yes.
there's nothing else like it. There truly isn't anything like it.
Well, and it gets back to your opening comment, which is, do you want to go in and be the guy pulling the slot machine? Do you want to be the buyer, or do you want to be the seller? Do you want to
Right.
be the house, or do you want to be the gambler? And I
Yep.
mean, it just, I thought that set the table just perfectly. Let me see. There was one final question that came in. This came in from Jim, and he said, the past couple of days, been some big jumps in the markets. And does
Yep.
that give you any concern, or how do you deal with that?
No, I look, I think the melt up will continue through the rest of the year. The path of least resistance to the upside, the momentum is there. We're getting into the holiday time. What's now, the Fed is out of the way, the election's out of the way. I would say we're on a pretty clear path for a melt up through the end of the year. And the only derailment from that, in my opinion, would be that the Fed really pivots hard in 2025 and starts to pause or even consider raising rates because inflation goes higher, which is what we talked about today. So if the Fed pivots, they're going to look like idiots, and they start raising rates, they're going to look stupid because they fudge this whole thing up. And as I've said, the Fed's probably going to break something, or the market's going to break something, and then the Fed's going to have to fix it. So that's a problem that I'm not worried about right now, but I do think that could be a threat in 2025. On
Sure.
top of that, with the election stuff going on right now, the House is still undecided. But if the House goes red and it's a full Republican sweep, and we have House, Senate, and President all Republican, the amount of policy change that may happen could impact the markets. Now, most of the reform might be on the social side of things as opposed to the financial side of things. I would say that Republicans are typically pro-capitalism, pro-business, pro-deregulation. So for the markets, they might love it. But for sentiment and for, social liberties, maybe it changes. But that's something I can't control, so it's something I don't worry about. So what I
No,
do is I
exactly.
trade and I stick to the process and I define my risk and I just keep trading.
Yep.
So I'm not worried about it. I just think we have to look. The the saying is John Maynard Keynes: the markets can go up, or the markets can move longer and stay irrational longer than traders remain solvent. So for those of you out there worried about the top, it probably goes way higher than you think. For those of you worried about the bottom, it may go way lower than you think. So what do you have to do? Define your risk. Don't over leverage. Don't be greedy. Just stick to the process.
Just stick
It's
to the
that simple.
process.
Yeah.
Well stated. And folks, I just posted the pricing schedule there so that everybody can see that clearly. When you go to the landing page, you're going to see the 1 year price, which is awesome at 1465. And then there's that special, which expires at midnight tonight, which is you can get 2 years for 1895. That's the best deal. But that expires at midnight tonight, wherever you are in the continental United States. The lifetime is 29.90. So if you go with the 1 year program or the 2 year program, you'll see another page that pops up and says, for $1,500 or for an additional $1,000, you can upgrade to lifetime. And lifetime has a ton of bonuses associated with it that Chris has covered. The 100-day guarantee, it applies whether you get the 1 year, 2 year, or lifetime deal. You have a full 100 days to take advantage of everything. And as Chris mentioned, live trading, the next live trading will be November 11th, which is next Monday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. So come into the room, talk a little bit about the market, say hi, get ready, and then at 11:59, place a trade right along with Chris. And that's a great way to jump in. So today's Friday. You got the weekend. You got an opportunity to study up, read some of the educational material, get comfortable for what's going on, and then get ready for Monday. Wonderful program, Chris.
Yep.
Uh,
Thank you. Can I just address the
yes,
last
of course.
couple
Go
things
ahead.
here? So
Yeah.
Omar says, is this the only program you have? No, I've got a few programs, Omar. I would say this is probably the simplest and most systematic and straightforward. The first one that I did here at InvestPub was very hands-on, trading every single day. It's a little bit more intense as far as the learning curve goes, but like I said, I will teach something over and over and over again because I believe, look, you're all capable of being great traders. Look, trading is not a luck. It's not a lucky thing. Trading is a skill that you learn, and what you learn about yourself is your thresholds of greed and fear and comfort and emotions, and it's a learned skill. So you learn about, yes, simple percentages and dollars and risk management, but you really learn how to control your emotions. Okay? I mean, I am serious when I say this. I take risk that doesn't ever bother me, and I have wins that don't ever bother me. Like this week was one of my best weeks I've had all year. It doesn't matter. Like it is part of the process. I mean, I'm just going to keep grinding. So I have other services, but this one I think is, I'm just going to say, the easiest to get started, the most systematic. I mean, if I were coming into a class for the first time and I can place one trade on the same symbol and do it once a week and not have to worry about it and see profits roll in with a high success rate and high probability every
Yeah.
10, 12, 13 days, I mean, come on, like that is pretty darn awesome. And that's super attractive. And like, that's a great place to start. Then if you want to get more serious about, maybe day trading, maybe futures, maybe hedging, fine. You can advance, but this is a great like entry level, but don't think about that as like, well, this is so simple. It's like, I freaking love this strategy
No,
because
it's a money maker.
it's an
We're here to
easy way
make
for me
money.
to
Yeah.
generate income. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. And I look at it this way. It's wonderfully low maintenance.
Yeah.
You can have a daytime job. You can have maybe there's other ways you like to trade the markets that are more active and you're looking to diversify. This is a trade on Monday, and then you do that it just doesn't interfere with anything. And to your point, once you start to stack these up and you have the waterfall built,
Yep.
you're just going to start seeing returns coming in. And obviously, as Chris said, we can't guarantee 100% winners, but
Right.
the model portfolio over 550 trades generated a huge return on this. He's 24 for 24. There's every reason to expect you can enter this with confidence. There were a few other questions here. When you do the live sessions, are those recorded, Chris? So in other words, next Monday, if I miss that, can I go to the members area and see that recorded?
Yep. I would kick myself if I never recorded any sessions. So our Zoom automatically records, my live sessions automatically record. I'm live on YouTube every day. It automatically archives. Everything I do out there for you all to see is out there recorded. It's in your member portal. So as soon as that class wraps on Monday, it probably needs about 60 to 90 minutes to process, and then it goes live in your member portal. So yeah, if you
Okay.
can't attend live, you'll still get the email and the alert in real time. And then the class is recorded, ready, posted within a couple hours.
Lisa asked a question. She said, so we don't need to buy multiple contracts at one time.
You can do whatever you're comfortable with. I mean, I
Right.
typically take 6 to 10 contracts on my trades. I've done the math where I'd love to take 50 to 100 contracts. I've traded. I mean, I worked for a hedge fund where I was taking 500 to 1,000 contracts. You can take. I mean, we're talking instruments that allow you to do that. I know my risk. I know my comfort level. I'm comfortable with about a $650 to $700 risk a week. And to do that, I'm going to trade the appropriate contract size. I know how I can, make my extra $100 to $200, $300 a week, and that's my real service for Waterfall Income. Is I will probably make $100 to $200 a week per ticker, and that's per trade. So the way that I combine this and stack this is I generate probably 4 trades a week. Now, I'll explain that in class on why we take 4 trades a week or why I take 4 trades a week, and you can pick because a lot of members might just take 1 trade a week, and it's easy peasy. Maybe some take 2. So it's totally up to you. I really think I'm giving you all the tools and resources to make this service what you want. And you can go as simple and systematic and easy, low maintenance, or you can go like I do, which is like I was aggressive and I was intentionally aggressive because I was very like bullish going into this election and bullish going into the end of the year. And I wanted to take advantage of that. And I'm glad that we did because we just stacked up a huge chunk of winners this week and we're not done. I mean, we're literally just getting started. And I'm so excited for what the service can do for everybody and myself included. I mean, I am very confident that even if I take losses with these certain symbols, I will repair them and I will make net profits. Like, look, think about it this way. If the market offered you a 20% discount right now, would you take it? Because here's the stupid idea that most traders have. I wouldn't even call them traders. Here's what ruins the market, okay? The market is built on sentiment, it's built on fear and greed. So when the market is falling and crashing, what is crazy stupid is everyone panics and tries to hit the sell buttons and they deleverage their positions and they try to go to cash and it does that and that is like a domino effect because so many silly traders out there are leveraged to the teeth. And so what they have to do when the market is falling is they're just trying to exit and get out and liquidity starts to dry up on these crappy penny stocks and these terrible double and triple leverage ETFs that they've been stupid enough to buy. And all of a sudden the market just snowballs into, a 5, 10, 15% correction and it gets nasty. And stocks individually can fall 60, 70, 80%. Okay. We're talking about an index that look, a terrible, terrible year in the index would be 20 to 30%. That is a terrible year. So you're not on the hook for this thing to go down 90%, you know? And if it did go down 30, 40, 50%, like we saw, 56% pullback in 2008, 2009, if that ever happened again, think about how much money you can make over the course of as you're buying those discounts, as you have the courage to do what good investors do, which is buy the discount, waterfall into these discounts, get advantage of these lower prices. Because eventually when those discounts go up, here's a good example. Anytime you look at the S&P that's had a dip, has it made all-time highs? Yes. For almost a century. Okay. Even the craziest market in the last 40 years was the Nikkei 225 in Japan. The Nikkei 225 peaked in 1989 and hit all-time highs this year for the first time in 34 years. But I did just a fun experiment. I said, okay, every 5%, you just packed away an extra couple $1,000s and put it in the Nikkei. Look, it took a long time, but you turned, let's say over the course of that pullback, it was, I don't know what it was. I don't remember the drawdown itself. It might've been like 50, 60%. But over that course of that period and that giant horseshoe recovery, you turned, let's say a $10,000 investment into 80, 90, $100,000 in profit. Now it took time. It wasn't the greatest experience to be sitting in a 34-year drawdown, but the Nikkei 225 is not the S&P. The Nikkei 225 is not the NASDAQ, okay? The US markets are truly lucky to have the world want them. And we have companies that are so big and so powerful. I would rather own stocks than own government treasuries. I think Apple is going to be a more successful thing to own than the US government treasury bills. I'm sorry, but there's just more money for these those multinationals that just sit on trillions of cash because they have it. So point is, stock market isn't going to go anywhere because it makes too much money for too many people and too many entities. So over the course of a century, if all this thing is done to try to go higher, and yes, it has hiccups, and yes, it pulls back, and yes, bears fall out of windows and bulls climb stairs. But when it happens, if you're a smart investor, you actually like discounts. You're welcoming some pullbacks. But if the market goes higher, what we can't do is we can't worry about, oh my God, we're at all-time highs, that it can't possibly go higher, because it absolutely can. You know how many all-time highs we made this year, Raleigh?
Yeah.
49.
I was going to
49
say,
all-time highs this
I
year in
didn't
the
know it was
S&P.
that many. I would have guessed 30 or so, but 49 of
49
them.
all-time highs. So
Yeah.
if all you did from day one of this year was bought an all-time high, you had 49 all-time highs this year. That's insane. And it happens all the time. So you can't think about it can't go up any higher, because it totally can. And if it pulls
Absolutely.
back, we got to have the courage and the cash. And this is why we trade options, because we don't tie up all of our capital. We have the cash at the ready to deploy. We do it risk defined. And we get that 3-5% discount. That isn't a healthy bull market. I mean, my gosh, this year we were lucky to get 2 to 3% pullbacks. It has been a crazy bullish year outside of the August little crash that was the 10% pullback in the S&P.
You bet.
And what did it do? A month later, it was at all-time highs. Like, this market is just so aggressive right now. It's laughable, but it'll change. And guess what? I will be happy to be the trader that helps us navigate it, because I'm going to do it. I am trying to make as much money as I can with the least amount of risk. That is
You
my
bet.
job every single year. And I accept that challenge.
Outstanding. Chris, one question that some people asked here, if somebody's starting small and they're looking to basically start trading a single contract, what is a single contract in this program? What's that going to cost somebody?
That the cost of that is going to be about $60 to $70 to place the trade. The broker is going to tie up about $60 to $70. Your max risk is going to be about $60 to $70, and you're going to make about 15 to 20 bucks return.
Okay.
That's how it works.
So for Werner asked the question, he said, hey, so 5K, is that for 1 or 10 contracts? Well, 5K, if you figure out that it's $60.
Yeah, we're talking like legit 50 to 60 contracts to make that 5K risk.
Yeah.
So
it's just a function.
I literally spent that in class 1, and I said, look, the webinar says $5,000 risk. And everyone in this room, I asked everybody in the room, how many of you are going to take a $5,000 risk today? Nobody said yes.
Yeah.
Right. So look, I'm going to take about a $600 to $700 risk every single week. Okay. And that's per trade. So if I do the SPY, that's $650 or so. Do the Qs, that's $650 or so. If I do a debit spread and a credit spread, that's $600. So I might be taking $2,000 to $3,000 of total risk. Okay. But that to me is about 1% or less on all my accounts.
Yeah.
So I am okay doing that. That risk will never make me lose sleep. I can manage that risk. Okay. So, so do we have to take that type of trade in contract size? No, but guess what? We are talking about instruments that I have literally traded the SPY for 1,000+ contracts. You can get filled with an insane amount of contracts. Okay. So the ability to make tens of thousands of dollars is right there if you can trade the dollars and percentages that let you do it. So anyway, it's there, but we can also keep it dirt cheap where it costs us 60 to 70 bucks and it's no big deal. And, and I've got a friend that's in the service, and, he's like, man, I'm making 20 bucks a week. That's not going to add up. I'm like, well, your account's $2,500. What are you talking about trying to make $1,000 a week I mean, come on, man. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Who is going to do that? Making I've got a $2,500, Chris, I need to make $1,000 a week. Well, okay, then I guess buy a lottery ticket and then lose all your money. I mean, I don't know how that happens. So it is a process, and this process is systematic, and it's going to be just stacked winners week after week after week.
You bet. And there was another gentleman a little bit earlier, and once again, I think too focused on the $5,000, who basically says, look, I've got a $5,000 account. Do I put it all on red?
No, man.
The answer is
That's
no.
Stupid.
You would
Here's
never
a funny
do
story
that.
on that, Raleigh. Here's a funny story. My last golf trip, I was in Vegas for 3 days on a golf trip. Okay. I had 2 buddies with me that are diehard golfers. We all flew out. I was flying out there from Utah, 2 guys from Michigan, and we all meet up. We go play some golf in Vegas. We get paired up with a random single on the back 9 because it was kind of crowded, and we're just trying to get in and get the pace of play up and things like that. The guy that we met randomly on like the 14th or 15th hole, he was like, hey, because we were at this course. It was like 30 minutes outside the strip, and we're in the middle of nowhere. And he's like, we're actually like going back towards the same area, like back in town. And he's like, I think we go into, let's go into the Aria. Let's put, $100 on black. I'm like, go ahead. I'll see you guys at the bar. So here's my funny part. They all walk in together. They all drop $100 on black. And that's the saying, always bet on black. And what do? The look on all 3 of their faces when it rolled red was priceless. Because just like that, they watched $100 disappear, and the dealer's just like, thank you. And they're like, that was stupid. I'm like, I know. I'll buy you guys a drink. Like, so dumb. So no, just take a controlled risk trade.
Exactly. Take a control risk. And once again, Omar's asking the question, guys, let's not get all tied up on this. The question is this: if you're going to risk 5,000 to make 1,000, $5,000 is going to be about 60 contracts. I mean, you could do the math. Divide 60 into 5,000, you come up with 83.
Yep.
So if you want to go ahead and do that, you're going to be buying contracts. But as Chris has said, if you're just starting out, buying a single contract, for $60, you're going to be looking to make around $10 on it. Buy two contracts, $120. The thing is this: you've got an account size like the gentleman with $5,000. You establish for yourself how much do you want to have at risk in any given time. Let's say
Yep.
you're aggressive and you say, I want no more than 10% at risk. Well, that tells me that you would, invest 500. You would be investing 500 to make 100 to $150.
And if you make that 100, let's say you make that $100, Raleigh, you make that $100 and you do that for 52 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
You just turned a $5,000 account into $10,200.
Yeah.
That return on capital is, you literally doubled your account. So does it work? Yeah. So look, stop getting caught up on how do I make $1,000? If you have an account that can't allow you to trade 100 contracts, don't worry about it. Like, the thing I will say for any strategy is, are you comfortable with the risk? Because I can promise you, we are going to take some losses eventually. We
You
are going to
bet.
take some losses. And I already said this in day one of this class. How many of you would be comfortable taking a $5,000 risk and a $5,000 risk and a $5,000 risk and a $5,000 risk, and then we get hit to the downside and we take loss, 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 loss? Nobody wants that to happen. So don't take the risk if you can't allow that to happen. And I told
Yes.
them straight up, look, I've got $2.5 million that I trade. I never want to take those type of losses. I'm totally comfortable all day, every day within the $500 to $1,000 range. I can always make up that income. I can always replace those trades. I can always repair those positions. But if I was 5 stacked up for 30, 40 grand, I probably have some clients reaching out to me. That's not what I'm signing up for. I'm signing up
Yeah.
for my P&L to look bottom left, top right, silky smooth. Doesn't matter how I do it. Nobody needs to know how I do it. But guess what? You do. This is one of my core ways to generate consistent income.
Outstanding, Chris. Well, Chris, once again, thank you so much for your time today, number one. And thank you very, very much for all the hard work that you put into bringing this strategy to the rest of us. Folks, what you need to understand here is what Chris is sharing with us is essentially something that he developed for his own trading.
Yes.
Okay. And now, once again, it's consistent, it's reliable, it's had a positive impact on him, and now he's bringing it to us. Okay. So he's sharing an edge that he's created for himself with the rest of us. And once again, that's what Waterfall Income is all about. Chris, once again, thank you so much for your time today, answering all the questions that are here. I hope you have a great rest of your Friday, a fantastic weekend, and you're in Salt Lake or you're in Utah someplace, right?
I'm in Salt Lake City. The snow is starting. The golf
I was
courses are
gonna
closed.
Yeah, I was
Yep.
wondering when the ski lifts start to open up.
They're already starting to make it. That's for sure. I've got some good connections. Like I said, in the evening times, I co in the simulator out here. So I teach a couple of instructors at some of the resorts, and so I get some good passes for the winter. So I can go to Park City, I can go
Oh
to Deer
my,
Valley, and some. I
that's
mean, it
beautiful
is
skiing.
some of
Yeah.
the. I mean, I've skied in Canada and the Northeast. I've skied. I mean, I'm from Michigan. We had some bunny hills essentially in Michigan. But out here, I mean, I've skied in Colorado. Like, this is the greatest snow on earth that I've ever been a part of. But I will say this: I don't want to get hurt anymore. Like,
Yeah.
last year, I hit the terrain park really hard. I busted up my shoulder. It's like I and the ski instructors I work with, they take like platelet-rich injection surgeries, and they get these things in their knees and their hips just to operate every single winter and just be on the job. And I'm like, man, it is
Oh
hard
my.
on your body. If you're doing it every day, it's hard on your body. So I'm
It
like,
is
I
tough.
think I
Yeah.
just need to stick to the gym, stick to my computer, take my dog out for a walk, and just, I don't know. I mean, and I hate it because I'm super active. I play a ton of basketball. I love golf. I love going to the gym, but man, I don't want to get hurt. I broke my arm in February, and it's not the same. And it's the first injury I've ever had in 40 plus years. That's been man, this one really sucks.
Exactly.
So
Well, this gets back to the whole concept of defined risk.
yeah, yeah. I mean, everything is a probability, and I'm like, I should probably just stick to not getting hurt and trying to get in better shape, you know?
Outstanding. Well, once again, Chris, I'm going to go ahead and grab the screen here from you, and I'm going to stay here for just a few more minutes and answer any last minute questions that might come up. But once again, thank you so much for your time today and sharing everything that you did about the Waterfall income program that you have.
Yep. Thanks, Raleigh. Thanks, everybody. Hopefully, I'll see you on Monday. Take care.
Sounds great. Yeah. So anyway, folks, for those of you that arrived just a little bit late and are wondering, who am I? My name is Raleigh White. I'm the senior moderator here at the Prosperity Pub and at the Trading Pub. And I really do have the great good fortune to work with wonderful people like Chris Pulver as they share with the rest of us strategies and techniques and approaches that they have created initially for themselves that are now available to the rest of us to use in our trading. So one thing I want to share right off the bat is that this is a live presentation and it is being recorded. And so if any of you out there would like to have a link to a copy of this recording, just in the chat panel, do three things for me. Give me your name and your email address and say, send me the replay. Okay. Name, email address, say, send me the replay. And then when we're done here, I'll send that to our customer care team and they will email you a link to this presentation as soon as that is available. Secondly, folks, what I've done is I put together a quick little summary over what was presented today. I've stripped out the marketing information, the testimonials, things of that nature, pretty much the brass tacks. And then I'll once again go over the special offer on any questions that you might have about that. But the focus today was on waterfall income. And it's the only service that we know of that targets weekly windfalls every Monday at exactly 11:59 a.m. And that's all it takes. One trade on one ticker at the exact time each week. So like we did on August 19th, okay, got in on the 19th and out on the 21st and generated $1,101 in income. That's assuming a $5,000 investment. If the investment was $500, it would have been $110 would have been the extra income on that. So, so basically making about 20% on that. And then again, the following week on August 26th, $1,672 worth of income. In on the 26th, out on the 19th of September, a $5,000 starting stake would have generated $1,672 in profits. If you had put 500 into it, you would have made $167. So using this program and going back and looking at 550 trades that the study was based on over an 11-year period of time, the success rate was 97.1%. And if we take a look at the live alerts that have been issued on this program since we released it to the public, we're at 100% win rate, 24 for 24 on live real money trades that Chris has shared with his members. So we're even outperforming, if you will, the study at this point in time. So here's how the program works. Every Monday at exactly 11:59 a.m., Chris will verify data and post a weekly windfall alert in the new members area. He'll immediately package up the alert with all of the details and send it right to your email and to your cell phone. So whatever you're doing, you're going to know at 11:59 a.m. Eastern time that an alert's waiting for you. Now, he also wanted to include some educational material for those of you that are not familiar with or don't have limited knowledge on how to trade options. So he put together the Options Trading Boot Camp. It's a big beginning video guide, and it covers all the basics on how to trade options successfully. Basically, he covers everything there, including the specific options that you need to know how to place in order to take advantage of the alerts in this program. He also includes the Waterfall Income Kickstart class. This is a great place for you to start on this program when you sign up because it's everything that you need to hit the ground running, and it's found in this particular guide, okay? And of course, you're never going to have to guess how the waterfall income is performing because he has a trade tracker there, which is a big spreadsheet in the members area where you can go ahead and look at all the live trades that he's done. And then there's a separate tab where you can look at the 550 trades that were done in the study that basically told us that this was an awesome awesome strategy that we need to bring to the public. So you can imagine this is an organic document, and every week more and more trades are being added to it, and you'll always see how the system, this program is performing. 100% transparency, independently audited, and you need to know the performance of this program and how well it has been doing. Take for a moment, once again, it includes like the 11-year track record of the 550 trade study, and we can see on that, holy smoke, 97.1% win rate here. Okay. But the key thing for me is look at this profit factor. 7.15. So for those of you that don't know what a profit factor is, what this tells me is for every dollar that I lose, I make $7.50, 15 cents. And that is incredible. In particularly when you look at a win rate of 97.1%. Unbelievable. Average duration of the trades is about 11 days. Okay. Now, when it comes to pricing, when you go to the public website, you're going to see that the price per year is $34.95. So that's what the price per year is. But for those of you that are here today, once again, we put together some special bonuses. Number one, Chris wanted to go ahead and do what he calls a double dip. He wanted to knock not 1,015, but actually $2,030 right off the top. So cut $34.95 down to $14.95, and that'll be the cost for the year. So he's done that. The second thing that he wanted to do is he said, look, I don't want to tie up people's capital for a long time, but I want to give them a decent amount of time to be able to get comfortable with the service and find out if it's really something that's going to work for him. So he put together a 100-day money-back guarantee. So from the date of purchase, you have 100 days to take advantage of the alerts that are going to be coming out, all the educational material, all the perks and the benefits. And if after 100 days you want your money back, it doesn't matter what the reason is. Just call us and say you want your money back. We will give you your money back. Now, everything that you see here on the stage on this page for $14.95. Now, here's some frequently asked questions that we get. Do I need $5,000 to take these trades? No. The $5,000 was just used, for the presentation. But the trades are dirt cheap. Each trade can be taken with as little as $100 if you want to start small. And I think Chris said that the average trade was around $60. So from that standpoint, once again, his examples were based on a $5,000 stake. But any way that you look at it, he's basically making it look 1,000 off of 5,000, which means he's looking for about a 20% return. So if you invest $100, and let's say you just buy a single contract, you're going to be looking to go ahead and make $20 on that. That 20% return is the constant. The only variable is how much you put in on the front end. So the question is this: what is the ticker? His focus is on the SPY and the QQQ, the two most liquid tickers in the market. And depending on, he'll make a decision on the Monday whether he wants to go with the SPY or the QQQ, but those are the tickers, and mostly his focus is on the SPY. But that's the tickers that he's focused on. Why do we place the trade every Monday at 11:59 a.m.? Because Monday is historically the best day of the week to buy stocks. And the study shows that we get the best bang for our buck on Mondays. So from that standpoint, he played around with the timing, moving it an hour here, an hour there, and he found that for consistency at 11:59, right before noon, that's what works best, because at this point in time, we were beginning of an accumulation mode through the balance of the week historically. Can I trade this in an IRA or 401k? The answer is yes. It's a retirement account friendly. And if you're just using a normal account, any regular brokerage will do the trick. So once again, folks, $1,465, for instant access. You go to prosperitypub.com/windfall, or you can click the link in the chat. And when you do that, this is what the landing page looks like. You can see that we have a 1-year program for $1,465 or a 2-year program for $1,895. Now, this 2-year program at $1,895 is going to disappear at midnight tonight. That's the special price that we have on today. It disappears, but the $1,465 will remain. Now, once you sign up for either one of those programs, don't close the next page, because you're going to be given an invitation to go and upgrade to lifetime, which means you'll never pay any renewal fees whatsoever Plus, you're going to get the following bonuses. You're going to get the max profit waterfall alerts. This is a way to even generate more profits with the alerts that Chris gives out, and he has a special program around that and techniques that he'll teach you. Secondly, you'll get lifetime members VIP class on advanced trade management. And this is significant here because this is also going to help you understand how you can turbocharge your gains and also protect yourself on the risk side. And that's covered in this program. And then bonus number 3 is the lifetime VIP members class on turning a waterfall into a tidal wave. These are additional trades and things that you can do to really ratchet up the potential of this program. So you get all 3 of these bonuses for free when you upgrade to lifetime. And when you do go to lifetime, folks, regardless of how this program may grow down the road, you'll never pay another fee. You pay one price and you have it for life, and we'll never charge you a software upgrade fee or a software maintenance fee. The second thing is this is lifetime memberships are legacy licenses. And what that means is that if at some point in time down the road you would like to gift this membership to someone else, a son, a daughter, a friend, an acquaintance, you can certainly go ahead and do that. All you have to do is call us and tell us that you want to move your subscription to somebody else, and we'll take care of that for you. Okay. So once again, 1465 for instant access. Let me go to the chat panel, and I can see that we have several people here that would like to have the replay. Be glad to do that. Outstanding, outstanding, outstanding. All right, folks. Well, with that, looks like we've answered all your questions. I want to thank you all for coming today. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your Friday, that you have a wonderful weekend, relaxing and getting ready for next week. And I hope for those of you that are taking advantage of this program, next Monday is going to be exciting. Get ready to get in there at 11:30 with Chris and trade the markets right with him in his own Zoom room. You can join him right there. Use the weekend to educate yourself a little bit about the program and come join us on Monday. And with that, take care, folks. I wish you all the best. I look forward to seeing you at a future event. Adios.